Good morning. Good morning, Ruth. Just finishing up my prayers for the morning or getting ready to go to another level for today. First of all, I want to say thank you for traveling this past weekend for our cousins. And, excuse me for everything, all the help you gave me to get through staying at the hotel and getting home. I am very concerned, and I'm asking God for special mercies and blessings for you. I'm very concerned about what happened on Saturday because and how things went Saturday. I'm very disappointed in my sister Viola for not sharing with me what was happening Saturday. But I just came to the conclusion Saturday. At one point, I said, well, she must have met someone. Did you anybody notice she met someone? I was thinking you did like you did at Larry's wedding, just met somebody and ran out with them. But because I know it was unusual, it was unnatural, it was just not you. It wasn't a well person who kind of left their baby hanging for the day, left their daughter hanging at your cousin's house. And I know you know everything to Lavonda. I hope you understand what Lavonda had gone through this month with a sick mother. She kept so much on her shoulders. I don't even know how the girl's pushing the way she does, but she does what she do because of the gift that God had put inside of her. I want you to think about what she went through, to know your mom is sick, and then suddenly she went from sick to terminally ill. And you know that because that's what happened to Daddy. Very suddenly. Went from not well to terminally ill. And next thing you know, you get the fact that he's on his last breath. And that's what happened to her mother. She sat there and watched her mother die while her kids had birthdays, and then she had to take a break from her mother's dying to celebrate her daughter's birthday and make sure the kids were good. And, she doesn't have one or two kids. I don't know how many she has, but she has children, for at least 3 or 4. And each one of them, she had to make sure had what they needed. And then she had to put together the last rites for her mom. And she had to do it quickly. And she did. She was blessed because she was able to do that. So by Friday, the night after the funeral, then she did not just the repast, but everybody at her house. And that was a lot. And then a little boy needed a Halloween party, and she just pushed herself to have that done. And because, it's how she is. And who would have tried to do that? I'm so glad she didn't push herself for the walk on Saturday. They had enough sense to know that they had to cancel that for Keisha. And it was done in Keisha's name, but they had to cancel it. Thank you, Yahweh. But anyhow, I'm saying all that to say I knew because of all of that, I didn't want Hannah to stay over. And I should have just said no to Viola. You have to bring Hannah back. Or ask Naomi at the there, can you watch Hannah and make sure she gets back to the hotel or something. But I did it because I just knew that because you didn't make it to the visit at her house, that by the next morning you'd be good. You could go get her the next morning. But when that whole day went by and you just didn't go get her, and then you weren't answering the phone, and I was really very worried, and then I was very concerned. But to find out that it was Jeff that had caused your delay, I was just so stunned and shocked and disappointed because that wasn't the kind of trip it was. It wasn't a time where you could do a meetup, because that's something you kind of do on your own. And I think you should understand that some things you got to do on your own. You don't have your family on hold. And you surely would have had made better arrangements for your children. especially Hannah. You just make sure she got back because Viola was there. She had a car there. You could have made arrangement for make sure that Carter picked up Hannah, and brought her back to the hotel. There's no reason that LaVonda had to do that. And finally, LaVonda had no choice. She knew that the girls were going to a haunted house that they had to they got to get moving. Plus, she needed her time, though. So, and then I don't know what that was all about, but I'm just going to say, I don't know what made you do that. Is that just seeing Jeff? Is that, or you just need to make sure you saw someone who was lower than Kevin to make you feel good about your decision to stay with Kevin? For Jeff to have to take you to go find a car, and you supposedly have a husband to do that with you, but you're going to need Jeff to go help you find a car. I mean, just you have to look at the status of what the decisions you're making of your life. If for you to not have a car right now is a disgrace. And I just know that for you not to have the ownership of that Highlander, there's no excuse. And there's nothing you can say or do that would make it okay, because it's just not okay. And I don't know what else to say, but you have to start putting Ruthie first above you. You have to start thinking more about Ruthie, loving yourself more, because there's somebody out there for you, Ruth. But not when you're just at the bottom of the barrel and accepting that as your excuse. There's a lot of discussions you said about Kevin, and things you said about him in his house that I have to hold as truth. Even though you decide to move back with him, I still have to accept these as truth. And because I accept them as truths, I just don't want Hannah in that house anymore, or around that house anymore. And I really don't even want Maya there, and I don't want to have that kind of say so for Maya. But I want you to make the decision that you and Maya are going to be somewhere safe, not where drugs are being stored or sold, because it's against the law. And the reason it's against the law because it's a major safety hazard for children to be around drug addictions and people who feed drug addictions. And it's just unhealthy. And if that's a lifestyle that you want, it's safer with Jeff, who's asking for $20, than it is with this man who's collecting everybody's $20, if you want to compare man to man. So poor Jeff is just still struggling because he still has his addiction. But just think about Kevin is struggling because he feeds addictions. And they're both are very sad positions to be around. But there are so many men out there who don't do addictions of any kind. And that's the kind of man you need. And you need around your children. I squirm now when I hear Hannah say dad to him. Even though he did take time and show love to Hannah. But I don't trust him. I don't trust anybody who makes the promises he made to you and then just turn his back and just act like it didn't matter. Like he can say what he want to say and do what he want to do, and it's okay. But it's not okay with me. It's not okay with me because he made too many promises, and I watch you reach up and do those things, and each time he moved the agreement to another level, to another plan. I don't even know what it is now. It's just like, the hell with it. You're just not getting it, period. That's it. And I'm not trying to start trouble to make you dislike him or fight with him. I'm trying to make you rise above him and know where you have a place in this world. You have a place. It doesn't have to be here. It doesn't have to be at Viola's house. It doesn't have to be at nobody's house. You need to find Ruthie a place. And there's a place for you, especially with the business that Larry has planned, which is going to move quickly. And things are going to go quickly. There's going to be needs for people to work in positions very quickly. But in the meantime, go to Delta T, get your $120 a day, or it can get $150, depends on which schools you go to, a day, and put your money in your pocketbook, in your bank account, and plan to move. Try to find your way out. There's no way you're going to stop drinking at Temple Road, because there's no way you can stop drinking around a person like that, who you when you know you're being belittled like that. You can't be belittled like that and stay sober. I love you and I want the world for you. I need the world to be better for you, for all of my children. But right now, I'm most concerned about you, even more so than Cameron, because I believe God got Cameron, and he's going to get through his part, but he doesn't have anybody to worry about but Cameron. He doesn't have a little Maya or a Hannah. He has Cameron. And he will one day have his own little child and his own little family. And I do ask God to bless him with that, in God's timing. But right now, I'm worried about you because you're my oldest and you need to be much further along than you are. Remember, look at LaVonda. Look at what she had to deal with. Look what she had. Her mother literally was a crack addict most of her life, almost all of her life. And her dad was too. They were two crack addicts who had a baby. But she rose above it all. I don't know how the hell she did it. But she rose above it all. And she just fought. And now look at, you didn't go, well, you've seen her home before. I'd never seen her home before. Look at her lovely home. Look at her lovely children. Look how she fought for this son who they wanted to put on medication, and she was determined he wasn't going to be on medication. They wanted him an IEP. She was determined he wasn't having an IEP, even though an IEP may have helped him. She didn't realize that. She just didn't want him going through the special ed system where they do a social emotional boys, put him in these systems and trap him. She just wasn't having that done for him. So that attention deficit syndrome, they thought he had disorder, they thought he had. She made sure that he got the attention he needed to overcome ADD. And that's what it takes. It takes a lot of attention, a lot of love, a lot of energy to get a child through that without medication. And so I'm saying she could do it. And she did it. And she's successful. So can you. And so will you be. Those are your baby cousins. It's your turn, Ruthie. It's your turn to have what belongs to you. God bless the child that has his own. It's your time. It's your time. Not just a car, because that's nothing to have. But you got to have your own home. You can't be treated like nothing and accept that this is just how it's going to be. You don't want Hannah to see what she saw, what she's watching. And she's at a time now, she's got to make decisions for herself and put men above herself. And I don't want her to do that. Somehow or another, she's got to see that, and you can't keep making those mistakes in front of her. Unfortunately, she saw that you put this guy, Jeff, in front of all of them. Everyone. And it hurts you. It hurts Hannah. Because it's like watching you humiliate yourself in front of other people, and you got to do better. You can't just keep doing this. And had you not been resettled back with Kevin, I don't think you would have pulled that with Jeff. I don't know what you were trying to prove, but it's time to prove stuff. Forget the men. Let Ruthie be the stronger one. Let Ruthie be the one that shine. Love Ruthie. And once you love yourself and put yourself above everybody else, trust me, the rest of the world and the other energy is going to see that, and you'll be gravitating somebody who cares about himself. And that's all you need. All you need is one person. There's a man out there, whether I don't know where he's at, Virginia, wherever he's at, or Philadelphia, or wherever, Delaware, I don't care where he's at. is for you. He's for you. And just know you have not met him yet. Just know that. Think about that. More than likely, you have not met him yet. And it's your time. It's time to meet him. You got to stay focused on Ruthie so you can meet him. Just put the wine down and get to work every day so you can meet him. You got to get moving every day. You got to be up every day, out every day. And then you're going to see a whole new Ruth. All right. Love you so much, girl. Love you so, so very much. All right, bye-bye.